Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 3, Week 3 updated for the 5th edition. I have played around with my camera and the lighting in here and about blinded myself with a desk lamp trying to fix the lighting and make myself not look so tired, but honestly it's just the end of a long Friday and I am tired. So we will jump right into what we did for geography today. For geography, we've just got more states and capitals, and today I had these little erasers that I bought, and my son actually noticed that they are numbers, but they're all different little animals, and so gave each of the kids one of those little erasers, and we had them, hop in Maryland and spin around in Virginia and go to sleep in West Virginia and any little thing that you can do. And then we just had them hop quickly from state to state, saying the capitals as we went through and did geography. I usually start with geography so that I can have my maps set up and all of the markers out ready to go just to save time in class. And when the kids come in, as we're all coming in and getting settled, they are learning to just come in and grab their pens and start tracing their just blob mapping the outside of the United States. I stress to them it is not about perfectly going over every part of the outline, but just kind of getting the shape of the United States in their head. So anyway, little figures for geography worked today. Then we moved on to timeline. So for timeline, I hid the cards around my room again. They love doing that. And then they each found a card. When they found a card, they came back to their seat and sat down. And then once we all got back down, I did the motions with them a few times through. So while they're finding the cards, I am singing this segment of the timeline song that we're working on. So they're hearing it several times while they're finding the cards. So we had Phoenicians in the alphabet. Hinduism in India. That's where I start. So Hinduism is all about the spirit. And so you're going to take your fingers and you're going to pinch, I think it's your middle fingers actually. And you're going to just kind of wiggle this one up, kind of like a genie coming out of a bottle is what I think. So a spirit. So Hinduism. And for India, we always point here for Bindi dot, Hinduism in India. And we have Phoenicians in the alphabet. So for the Phoenicians, if you look on the card, I think I have the card right here, it's got a boat on it. So the sign for a boat is 3 fingers like this. So it's the number 3 turned sideways. And then we're going to put it on the water and we're going to sail our boat. And we will do this motion a few more times in the timeline, so you can spend some time practicing and getting it because we'll use it again. So Phoenicians and the alpha, this is an A, bet, this is a B, so alphabet. Okay, and then we go to Olmecs of Mesoamerica. So the Olmecs, I have to show you this picture because it's the big heads. So for the big head picture, you're just going to kind of do the shape of their head. So you just kind of go like this and point to the features of the head. So Olmecs of Mesoamerica. And then Israel Exodus, you're going to put your hands together and they're going through. I kind of think of like when the God parted the Red Sea. So they're going to go through and then they're going to Exodus. And then wondering, you're going to take one finger and just kind of wind it back and forth. And if you want to kind of look around like you don't know where you're going, you can do that. So desert wandering, the conquest and the judges. So when you're conquesting, you are trying to, stop the people. So you're going to take your right hand and go over and keep your left hand down. And then judges, you're going to make the motion of the scales. Like if you think about the scales of justice, they're what they used to weigh, used to weigh things and make sure things were equal and even. So you just go up and down for the judges. Then we have the Greek Dark Ages. This one's easy. Just cover your eyes. Greek Dark Ages. And then Israel's United Kingdom. We're going to take our pointer and our thumbs and we're going to bring them up and around and link them together because they are united and can't pull them apart. So that was timeline and motions for today. Then we went on and we did English is what we went on to because I'm trying to move them around. So we started the table of geography, then we moved around the room for timeline, but then we were sitting down for the motions, and then we moved to the floor and sat down, and I had a basketball from our little basketball hoop game that we passed around while we sang. If you do pass the ball in class, I know some people are careful with it. I had wiped my ball down and the kids were all sanitized and masked and everything. So I felt okay doing it. But you could have the kids just sit more like separately and give them something to do while you sing. You can give them like a squishy ball and just let each of them squish on something if you're wanting to move them to the floor. We sit in a circle and pass the ball. I do make the rule that if the ball starts going too fast or doesn't get to the person it's supposed to go to, or we start throwing it, then the ball goes away. So just explain that at the beginning. But we just passed the ball around in a circle. We passed it, just slowly, normal speed around. Then we got a little faster, and then we switched which way we passed it. So we sang about a past participle, and it's to the tune of London Bridge. And it's a past participle is a verb plus ed used as an adjective or a verb. So that was our song we did. You could do London Bridge as well with your kids. I just found that it gets a little wild doing that. But if you have another adult that can maybe do it with you and keep it on the calm side, that might be a fun thing to do. So that was English. Then we went to science, and for science we have some hand motions. So what are the 3 kinds of muscle? And they are skeletal, and we stood up really straight. You can't see, I'm tired, but I'll stand for you. This is what I did last time for this. So if you've watched this video, it's nothing new, but we stood really straight and tall like you would see a skeleton, so skeletal, and then smooth. And I did change this one from last cycle because we had done epithelial before and I didn't want the kids to get confused, so I did smooth on my thighs like this, smooth. And then our last one is cardiac, and we did the same thing where we kind of put it over our heart like that. So that was science. Then we did our history, and for history I had my hand-knitted little guitars. I found these at the dollar store. They're $1 each. You don't have to have these. You can use egg shakers, anything. But the guitars were fun for this one because it had kind of a little ukulele type sound. I don't know if it was a ukulele, but it has a little guitar-y sounding stringed instrument on it. And I just let them play that, and I walked around the room and was just kind of silly while we sang it. They think it's funny because of the sound she makes at the end that sounds like a dog howling a little bit. I don't know what it's about, but they love it. So that's fine. So we just sang the song a few times, played our guitars. No big deal. Then we went to Latin, and for Latin, it was a lot this week. We got 6, 7, 8-ish words, 7 things. So I had my little eyeballs that go on your finger and you can turn it into puppets. They're so fun. I don't know why. I just love these things. The kids love them too. So I told them we had some little monsters that were wanting to learn Latin. And so we did all in our Latin voice. So my monster talked like this. And it would say, hick, this, hulk, same. And they would repeat after me. And they would make their monster talk. So I don't know why I chose to do it in a high-pitched voice. Probably because my baby's been watching Elmo and that was stuck in my head. So that's what we did. We just went through all of them. I will pronounce them for you just in case you haven't had an opportunity to listen. So we have hick, hoke, like a coke. So ipso, ipsum, kiwi, kind of like a kiwi, or like you're saying cutie and kiwi together, kiwi, quode, eam, and a loom. So that's how you say all of those. Then we went to math. So for math today, we had our 5s, which is chanting, and our 6, which is a song. And so for our 5s, we practiced standing on one foot. And so we stood on one foot for about like the first 5, and then we jumped into the other foot for the next 5, and then we switched back to the other foot and just kind of hopped back and forth. And then by the end, for each number, we were hopping back and forth from one foot to the other. And then for 6s, we did our arms up and our arms down, and our arms up and our arms down. And what I mean by that, because I've had a few people ask, so what I do is I have everything written up on the board. And as we skip count through the song, I will circle certain numbers out of the skip counting. So example, for our 5s, I might have 10, 35, 40, 55, and 70 circled. And when we hit in our chant or our song, when we hit those numbers, whatever the action we've decided on, we do that action. So if we decided we're going to jump and we get to the number 10 and it's circled, then we jump on the number 10. Or whatever action, like I said, if you want to touch your toes, if you want to squat, if you want to raise your arms, if you want to spin, whatever action you want to do, that's what we do with that. So if you're doing this at home, that's a really easy one to do. And you can even have them go do 2 different motions if you want to really make sure that they're paying attention. So that was math. Did I do everything? That was everything. Wow, it goes so fast. So then we're doing tin whistle because our campus has flip-flop weeks so that we can be outside for tin whistle, although I managed to not actually have them play tin whistles today, which I'm not against them, but I feel like for a lot of the music theory, you don't have to play them. They're just good tools to use. So with everything that's going on right now, I feel like not having to blow air around everyone is probably okay. But it was all of the notes, and we talked about Mr. Whole Note, Mr. Half Note, Mr. Quarter Note, and Mr. Eighth Note, who is a superhero, and that's why he has a cape, because he's really fast. So we did that. Staff, I don't have any awesome, amazing ideas for how to do that, except just try to have fun with it and be excited. The kids enjoyed it. I think by the end of it, we ended up making our own rhythm up on the board, and they had a good time doing that. And then with science, we did fingerprints, which was super fun. That's one of my favorite ones. I found these printables, I think through the Facebook page, but it looks like it might be on CC Connected by Amy Green. This is my fingerprint that's on there. I demonstrated for them, but these were nice. They're big spaces, so it was easy for my younger kids to get their tape in the right spot. And I liked also that it had the pictures down here so they could kind of look. We hypothesized if all of our fingers would be the same, if all the fingers in one hand would be the same as the other. We talked all about that. And I also read, there's a matchup for Indescribable out there, but if you have this book and you're looking for something, it's number 52 in the Indescribable book, which talks about not just another snowflake, and it has a little blurb about fingerprints. So we did read that for science. So anyway, that was all we did today. It was a fun day. I'm exhausted. I'm ready for the weekend, but I hope you guys have a great weekend, a great week next week, and I will be back with week 4 next Friday. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Bye.